Good evening and welcome to Global Game News. I am your anchor, Old Dead Man. Tonight's top stories. It's fixed number 37. The worldwide weather. Giant worms eradicated in No Man's Sky. Microsoft buys Activision Blizzard. The Fun Pimps announced 20.1 experimental update. But first, the new Battle Pass vehicle for China, the M64. The M64 was a field expedient mashup of two American tanks built and utilized by Taiwan, aka the Republic of China, Army, as the M18s received by Taiwan after World War II were well worn out and decommissioned. It left a gap in the military capabilities despite the addition of the Walker Bulldog, having also received M42 Dusters as part of their order. The Republic of China took the turrets from the decommissioned M18s and slapped them on the M42 Duster chassis to make the M64, which entered service in 1975 with 53 built. They were never used in active combat service and were retired in 1981. The M64 was 5.82 meters long, 3.23 meters wide, weighed in at about 25 tons, and was crewed by 4 men. The 500 horsepower Continental AOS 895-3 six-cylinder gasoline engine drove the vehicle to a maximum 72 kilometers per hour. It was armed with the familiar 76mm M1 cannon, and, unusual for the type, also sports a coaxial 7.62mm machine gun along with the top-mounted 50 caliber Ma Deuce heavy barrel edition. Armor is virtually non-existent, and the vehicle remains very susceptible to strafing and heavy machine gun fire. In War Thunder, the M64 will be a main prize in the coming Battle Pass season, joining the Rank 3 Chinese Premium Light Tank tree. In my opinion, this will be the first time I've actually been tempted to join in the Battle Pass season. The M64 is a unique piece of kit, and I don't see a direct in-tech tree equivalent possibly coming, despite the fact that there were 53 of these in service. I would love to see it in the main tech tree, but in the meantime, if you're wanting this unique little bird, you're going to want to get into the Battle Pass season. But let's move on to It's Fixed number 37. Gaijin released its fix number 37 today, and it's got some pretty good fixes in it. Certain high fire rate vehicles were experiencing the vertical aiming block because of sharp recoil instead of using the brakes. This error has been fixed. Object 279 and T-95 are no longer subterranean submarines. The spawn for these vehicles will no longer have you embedded in the ground. Guided missiles were occasionally visually showing a miss, but actually were impacting on target. The visual flight path has been refined so that it will appear properly on the screen for the shooter, the shootie, and the not-so-innocent bystanders. Thermal or night vision should not work in-game when your battery is dry. This accidental functionality has been removed so these devices no longer operate on faith, trust, and pixie dust. Moonlight is now expected to be realistically bright. At the same time, shadows have been improved on the highest graphics settings of Max and Movie. Other changes you might want to know about: 2 Italian cruisers have had their crew numbers increased to match the year represented in the game. This includes the RN Eugenio de Savoia and the Raimondo Montecuccoli. Israel now has number decals that represent their style, and for Xbox and PlayStation, the Roland 1 missiles have had their effective range fixed. And now for worldwide weather. In Fort Worth, Texas on Thursday, the 20th, you'll be expecting a high of 38 degrees Fahrenheit and a low of 20 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada can expect sunny and chilly, with negative 21 degrees Celsius high and negative 22 degrees low. Makes me cold just thinking about it. Heading across the pond and hoping we don't get lost there, highly recommend that channel, we find Castle Combe, United Kingdom, sitting at 5 degrees under partly cloudy skies and a low of negative 3. Crossing the English Channel, preferably not in a duplex drive Sherman tank or some insane Top Gear creation. We make a brief stop in the lovely French town of Troyes with rainy skies, 6 degree high, and a low of negative 2. Passing over a border or three, you'll come to Bonn, Germany, which is expecting wintry mix at 4 degrees, dropping to freezing overnight. Skipping over a huge amount of territory, we'll head over to Manila, Philippines, and jump ahead a day to Friday, where we're expecting rainy and warmer with 28 degrees during the day and 23 overnight. And we'll end in Port Douglas, Queensland, Australia, where the Friday weather looks like thunderstorms at 29 degrees with 19 km/h winds out of the east. An overnight low of 24 degrees. If you think it's hilarious that a gaming YouTuber is throwing weather forecasts in the middle of his videos, hit that like button or press that rumble button. Also, if you'd like to see a place represented in the weather forecast, let me know in the comments below. Moving on to No Man's Sky with a submission by MarkyBoy22. In No Man's Sky, a bunch of spacefaring hooligans sought out and eradicated a species of giant planet-eating worms. The mission was deemed a success on January 16th, as the last of their kin were destroyed by gunfire. Speaking of destroying things, Microsoft has announced the coming acquisition of Activision Blizzard Inc. in an all-cash transaction valued at $68.7 billion. This acquisition will position Microsoft as the third largest gaming company by revenue behind Tencent and Sony. Microsoft's gaming CEO Phil Spencer stated, "Upon close, we will offer as many Activision Blizzard games as we can within Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass. No word yet on whether you will be assimilated." And we'll wrap up this evening with the news that the Fun Pimps have released their next experimental update to 7 Days to Die, Alpha 20.1, fixing such bugs as the stability calculation bug, issues with textures, pathing, triggers, and ladder pathing. And that's Global Game News for January 20th, 2022. If you have a news item to pass along for a future Global Game News, please contact me on Discord. Thank you for joining us tonight. I am Old Deadman, and I will see you next time.